In the early days of Operation Enduring Freedom, when U.S. soldiers arrived as some of the first boots on the ground, they took critical steps in what is known today as America's longest war. They set out to capture those responsible for the attacks of 9/11 and to help this land become a safer place.
It's been 14 years since Afghanistan became a necessary part of American vocabulary. For tens of thousands of U.S. and coalition service members, Afghanistan is now a permanent part of their psyche. For millions of Afghans, the last 14 years represents dramatic change in their lives, their culture, and for the future.
I think the American people ought to know they've made a big difference here. People ask me, is it worth it? I tell them absolutely. And if you take a look at any of the measurable statistics, whether it's roads, cell phones, life expectancy, people in school, teachers, jobs, on, those numbers continue to go up. And without security and without the sacrifice of our men and women, wouldn't have been there.
General John Campbell says his time in Operation Enduring Freedom, like that of many others, set the stage for the follow-on mission, Resolute Support. He acknowledges the changes that have taken place over the years in Afghanistan are dramatic. Afghans today are partners working with U.S. and coalition forces to secure their land, moving forward a little more every day, away from the grasp of insurgents and closer to long-term stability.
They have taken on this fight. I mean, they own the security of their country. It's time for them to do that. They're ready. They've done that. They've been in the lead for the last 2 fighting seasons. They have it for this upcoming fighting season. They continue to need the coalition's help in many areas.
The mission of Resolute Support is to train, advise, assist Afghan National Defense Security Forces, like these military police.
What's the point? Right now, this is if they're taking contact from the left or the right. So it allows them, right when they take contact, to orient on it, provides specifier, then get in the prone so they're in cover. And then that allows them to search for the enemy and then attack onto them.
The enemy is primarily the Taliban, with its rockets, suicide bombers, and IEDs.
All right, do you guys have any questions?
The Afghan soldiers, part of the Afghan Military Police Command, are tasked with the security of a nearby prison and the surrounding area.
All right, bang, bang.
The Marines are part of a bigger task force with a code name Solid.
The Afghans obviously still have a long way to go. It still remains a huge task as a country and as security forces that are going to respond to our continued involvement, and they're going to need a lot of help for many years to come. But they're definitely on the right trajectory.
We have another formation called the Wedge, where
one thing I'm very impressed with is their willingness to receive help, their willingness to learn, their willingness to get better every day, and I mean, that's the first battle that you have to overcome.
Right, left, front, or rear.
Lieutenant Colonel Zach Miller commands Task Force Solid, a joint and coalition military presence 1,700 strong, primarily composed of soldiers from the republics of Czech and Georgia.
We're responsible for all of the security on Bagram Airfield, the perimeter, the entry control points, but more importantly, we're responsible for the security outside of the airfield.
Bagram Airfield remains as the largest U.S. military installation in the country. Drawdown since the end of Operation Enduring Freedom has made its mark, but Bagram still has significant strategic value to the coalition and to its enemies.
Lots of rockets, IEDs out in the ground defense area around Bagram. We've had a couple RPGs shot at helicopters. We've been direct fire attacks a couple times since we've been here. It's still an area of active hostilities.
Yeah, the threat's always present. The security around Bagram is pretty good, but you'd always approach it as if it is a dangerous place. I'm not an expert, and I shouldn't speculate too much, but if I was a betting man, they'd say they'd start heading up this way soon enough.
Staff Sergeant Eric Penny is on his final patrol. The 29-year-old Marine is an advisor to the A&A who travel with him on his rounds outside the wire.
The way I see it, the advisor mission, the best advisor training I've had is being married. Just learning how to cooperate, negotiate.
The Marines and the Georgians are members of Task Force Solid. The A&A comes from the 201st Corps. Together, they conduct what's called a dismount patrol. Resolute support gives coalition new meaning. Total coalition troop presence in all of Afghanistan is slightly more than 12,000, coming from 40 nations.
Big part of our job is to create a relationship with the Afghan people, and I'll do that as a patrol leader as well with their Georgian counterparts. Assalamu alaikum. And I'll have my Marines looking out for me.
The village is called Kalimusapain, located in the GDA, ground defense area, what's known as the Bagram Bowl.
Security concerns in the village or around here?
The patrols extend over an area that is within striking distance of the enemy. Afghan real estate that is some 300 miles and is home to some 300,000 Afghans.
The patrols are daily adventures that take them around the bowl. Each day they walk from 3 to 6 miles, depending on the village or town.
This mission, I think, sometimes is dangerous because you know this is Afghanistan. But so it's our job. So we are moving as a village with Marines and Georgian guys. We're moving. We are moving together, and so it's very interesting sometimes.
The interaction with the locals does a couple of things: establishes a collective security presence, and puts Afghan forces out front in the lead, earning the respect and trust of the people.